Okay, so let's work through the closure. So in the first part of this, you're supposed to algebraically find the equation of the line given the following information. Okay, so I don't want you to make a table or graph. I want you to actually show, starting with y equals mx plus b, replace m with our slope, so y is equal to 5x plus b, and then I want you to show substituting the point 3, 13 in for x and y and solving for b. So I'm going to put 13 in for y, 3 in for x. 13 is equal to 15 plus b. Then I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides, and I find out that b is equal to negative 2. So my equation is y is equal to 5x minus 2. All right, let's look at number 2. It says through the points 1, 1 and 0, 4. All right, so I have to find the slope first. So I'm going to think x1, y1, x2, y2. So change in y, so 4 minus 1 over change in x, so 0 minus 1. So I'm going to get, let's see, 3 over negative 1, so I get a slope of negative 3. Okay, so then of my equation y equals mx plus b, I know that the parameter of m, so y is equal to negative 3x plus b. Now you can pick either the point 1, 1 or 0, 4. Now 0, 4 should be pretty easy because that's actually going to give us the y-intercept. When x is 0, y has to be 4. So 4 is equal to negative 3 times 0 plus b. So 4 is equal to b. Okay, so I'm going to get that my equation is y equals negative 3x plus 4. All right, so for number 3, I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b. On this one, I'm given the slope. So y is equal to negative 3/5 x plus b. And it goes through the point 3, negative 1. So I'm going to replace x with 3 and y with a negative 1. Okay, so negative 5/3 of 3 is equal to negative 5. Okay, I'm going to add 5 to both sides, so I get 4 for b. Okay, so y is equal to negative 5/3 x plus 4. Okay, number 4, I have to go back to, it's given the points, so x1, y1, x2, y2. Change in y, so negative 15 minus 3 over change in x, so negative 5 minus 1. Okay, so that gives me negative 18 over negative 6. So my slope is 3. Okay, so y is equal to 3x plus b. I know my m value. Now I'm going to replace with one of the points. I think I'll just use 1, 3. So when x is 1, y has to be 3. So 3 is equal to 3 plus b. So if I subtract 3, b is equal to 0. So my equation is just y is equal to 3x plus 0. So just y equals 3x. Okay, so for number 5, it tells me the slope is negative 4 going through the point negative 2, 9. So I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b. And I know my parameter of m is negative 4. I don't know the parameter of b, but I'm going to replace y with 9 and x with negative 2. So 9 is equal to negative 4 times negative 2 plus b. 9 is equal to 8 plus b. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, so b is equal to 1. So my equation is y is equal to negative 4x plus 1. Okay, 6 is again 2 points, so I'm going to first find the slope. x1, y1, x2, y2, change in y minus change in x. So negative 3 minus negative 1. Okay, and 3 minus 2. So negative 3 minus negative 1 is negative 2 over 1. So my slope's negative 2. So if my y equals mx plus b, I know that my m is negative 2. Okay, so then you can choose either point to solve for B, I think I'm going to use 2, -1. So I'm going to replace -1 with y and 2 for x. So -1 is equal to -4 plus b. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So my b value is equal to 3. So y is equal to -2x plus 3 is my equation. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next set of problems. Okay, so this says for 101, find the slope for this line. So I'm going to look at just trying to find a rise and run. Okay, so I think I'll make my slope triangle here. And it looks like this is 1 and this is 2, but it's actually falling. So I'm going to write -1/2 for my slope. Find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is located right here. That's at the point 0, 1. Okay, so my equation, y is equal to my slope is -1/2 x plus my y-intercept of 1. So y equals -1/2 x plus 1. All right, 102 says find m and b in the following equations. What do m and b represent? Okay, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so the slope for this one, so our m value is 2, our y-intercept is 0, 1. Okay, so for this one, our slope, our m value is 2/5, and our y-intercept is at 0, -4. Okay, next we're going to graph both of these equations. So I'm looking for the pairs of numbers that work. What x values could I multiply by 2 and add 1? That would give me a corresponding y. The way to quickly graph that is to start by just graphing the y-intercept. So when x is 0, y is 1. And then I've got a slope is 2. Every time x increases by 1, y increases by 2. Okay, once you have a few points, you can go ahead and just connect them to graph your line. So this is the graph y is equal to 2x plus 1. Okay, next I'm going to graph y equals 2/5 x minus 4. Easiest first point to graph is 0, -4. Okay, and every time x goes up by 1, y does go up by 2/5, but that's a little difficult to draw. So it's easiest to actually make x go up by 5 and then figure out the corresponding y. So if I increase x by 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, y increases by 2. So 5 and then 2. And you could try and put the numbers 5 and 10 in these equations, and you should get -2 and 0. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and just connect those points to make my line. All right, so y is equal to 2/5 x minus 4. So I graphed each of those by first graphing the y-intercept and then by graphing the slope. Okay, 104. Shirley starts with $85 in the bank and saves $15 every 2 months. Write an equation for the balance of her bank account. Okay, so what are my variables? It looks like I'm relating M months with S savings. Okay, so I'm going to use those two variables. So her savings is equal to, and I need that unit rate. So how much money is she actually saving per month? Okay, so $15 every 2 months would be $750 per month. And then did she have any money initially? And it looks like she did. She had $85 as her y-intercept. Okay, next set says find the slope of each linear relationship. Okay, so it's change in y over change in x. Since my change in x is just 1 for this first one, to find my change in y, I could just look at any two pairs, and it looks like every time x goes up by 1, y is decreasing by 5. So my slope is -5 here. Okay, and then again, this one, x is going up by 1. That makes it a lot easier if x increases by 1. So I just have to look at what y is doing, and it looks like y is increasing by 9. So every time x goes up by 1, y goes up by 9. Okay, so a little practice solving equations. I'm trying to solve for W. I'm going to go ahead and start by combining my like terms. I've got 6W, 8W minus 2W. So if I combine that, that gives me what? 12W, and then I've got minus 5 minus 3, so minus 8 is equal to 9W minus 24. I think I'm going to subtract 9W from both sides. So 12W minus 9W is going to be what? 3W minus 8 equals negative 24. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So let's see, 3W is equal to, I get there when I add 8, negative 16. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3. So I get W is equal to negative 16 thirds. If I decide to change that to a mixed number, let's see, 3 goes into 16 5 times with 1 left over. I could also have written this as negative 5 1/3. Okay, so this was a review from chapter 1. Copy and complete the table for this rule. So I'm supposed to square x, subtract 6 times x, and then add 5. I'll work out a first few of these, and then I'll probably just fill in the rest of the table. So let's see. I'm going to take negative 1, square it, minus 6 times negative 1 plus 5. So negative 1 squared is a positive 1, minus 6 times negative 1, so that's minus negative 6 plus 5. So that's going to give me, what, 7 plus 5, so I'm going to get a 12 here. Then I'm going to plug 0 in here. 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 5 is going to give me 5. Then I'm going to go ahead and plug 1 in there. I should get 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 5 is going to give me 0. 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 5 is going to give me negative 3. 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5 is going to give me negative 4. Then I'm going to get negative 3 when I put 4 in, 0 when I put 5 in, and then 5 when I put 6 in, and then 12 when I put 7 in. Okay, so, and that was just, I only worked one out totally. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and graph those. So negative 1 is 12, looks like it's off the graph. 0 is 5. 1 is 0. Let's see, 2 is negative 3. 3 is negative 4. 4 is negative 3. 5 is 0. Let's see, 6 is 5, and it looks like 7 is off the graph. It looks like it makes a parabola. Okay, so describing, didn't we talk about maybe 5 things to describe the graph with? So let's see, the shape, parabola, intercepts, it touches the x-axis at 1, 0, and 5, 0. The other special point would be the y-intercept, which is at what, 0, 5. Does it have any symmetry? It looks like it does. It's got line symmetry at, let's see, x equals 3. Let's see, does it have any special points? Yeah, it's got a minimum, which is also the vertex at the point 3, negative 4. Okay, and then I guess the domain and range is the other thing. So I'll just write that up here. Is the relation a function? Yes, it is. So I don't have any stack points. Every input has one and only one output. The domain, what can x be? It looks like x can be all real numbers. Okay, how about the range? Let's see, what can y be? Y has to be greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, so x could be anything, but y has to be greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, 109 says find the slope of the line that passes through the points negative 5, 7, and 10, 1. So I'm going to think x1, y1, x2, y2, change in y. So 1 minus 7 over change in x, 10 minus negative 5. So let's see, 1 minus 7 is negative 6 over 10 minus negative 5 is 15. Okay, so I could simplify this to negative 2/5. Okay, so then I'll practice evaluating expressions. So let's see. We are going to replace x with negative 2. So let's see, negative 3 times negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 5. So I get negative 3 times 4 plus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 5. So negative 12 plus negative 8 plus 5. Let's see, negative 20 plus 5 is negative 15. Okay, so this first one was negative 15. Okay, and then I'm going to replace x with 1. So let's see, 6 minus 5 times 1 minus 9 squared. I'm following order of operations. So 5 times 1 is 5 minus 9 squared. 6 minus, what, negative 4 squared. So 6 minus negative 4 squared is 16. 6 minus 16 is negative 10. Okay. And then let's see, this one I've got negative 4 over k, which is negative 8 plus 7. That's negative 4 over negative 1, which is 4. Okay. And let's see, d, I've got 2m, so 2 times negative 2 over n, so 3 minus 1 minus m cubed, so negative 2 cubed minus n. Okay, so let's see, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 over 2. Okay, and then negative 2 cubed is negative 8, so minus negative 8 minus 3. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2 minus negative 8 minus 3. So that's like negative 2 plus positive 8. So that's going to be 6 minus 3. And then that should be 3. So this one should have been a 3. Okay, and then if, let's see where f of k is equal to negative 4 over k minus 7, what value of k would be excluded from the domain? So negative 4 can be divided by any number except 0. What k value would make the denominator a 0? So if k were negative 7, that would be a problem. So k could be anything except for negative 7. So negative 7 is what k could not be. Okay, so and then I had put the answers in to the beginning problem, so maybe you did that already, and then the rest of the answers to the closure should have been in your textbook, physical textbook on page 91, or your online textbook at the end of the closure section. Okay.